we're going to start with the cooling system repairs we got to do. We are replacing all the hoses so we don't have a hose blowout one day. Easiest way to do these is pull the clamps back. Don't try to put them on the hose and slide the hose over, because the aftermarket hoses are thicker and unfortunately you're not going to get the clamp over it. I don't suggest trying to use traditional clamps here. Try to use spring clasps. I rarely have a leak with these, but I have the traditional style and I get leaks, and it's just irritating. And leaks destroy engines, whether it's oil or coolant. Let's see if we can easily do this. Nope, not enough tool. Try to use tools that you have at home. I have special tools for doing this, but you don't. And that's kind of the thing I try to show the best practices with tools from Harbor Freight whenever possible. Okay, that one's off. And this next one. Now we're lucky here that this is a steel pipe and it has a little bit forgivable, but there's some on the other side where the heater core sits. Yeah, we might be using our special tools for that job. Okay, that'll make it easy for reassembly. And let's see if there's going to be a hose. Nope. Guess what we got to do? Cut. Wow, these hoses are crispy nuggets. Now we've already drained the coolant. And be careful using a knife here, because you can definitely cut yourself. I got a little rust there. You have to do a little bit of repair work. I don't know if camera can pick it up. Can you zoom in, camera? Make grab a flashlight.
We're at. Oh, seriously, this thing's gonna die. Okay, we're gonna have to. This thing's on apparently one battery. Alright, we're at.
Right here. See the rust? That'll be a leak later on if we don't get that surface back down. That's why we're replacing hoses. We're probably going to see a little bit of that, especially when we get to the other side. I'll let the coolant go a little longer, but it's supposed to be lifetime coolant, but you know how that goes. Alright, on to the top hose. Let's see if it'll come off easy or not. Probably not. You don't want to bend on these too much. Nope. Brake booster hose can go in the hood.
Get the cut together here.
There you go. You can get a lot done in an hour. Alright, same thing. We're going to cut the top. Yeah, we call this dry rot, even though it's a water hose.
Cut the hose out.
Now, after I get it clean, I'll give you the Gates part number. Oh wait, what's this? Part number. 19770. Alright, I gotta do a little cleanup on that water pipe. Right here, same thing I told you before. 1000 grit sandpaper and a little bit of WD-40, and we're gonna get that clean.
Alright.
Alright, here we go. A lot of this is surface. But you don't get to it now. Next time this pipe will be done, then you'll be hunting a pipe in a junkyard. See, the thing is, you put a new hose over all that rust, it will leak. I don't care what clamp you use. That's why we use 1500 grit. It don't take no metal off, but anything that's not metal goes. Alright, a little bit of brake clean and a blue Scotch shop towel. Alright, now you can see the hose rot versus the rust. But you hear that? That's what you don't want. That'll create you a leak. So you just keep cleaning. Now the thing about this side of the engine, this is the cold side as we call it. Now this water here is a little bit different. It takes heated water and the heat gets put into the device that's controlling. So in this case we have the, come up here, we have the heated throttle body water, that would be here, coming back in. So actually it's hot, chilled, and this becomes the cold side. The cold side gets pumped back into the engine via the water pump and gets recirculated. So this system is kind of cool, where there's, no pun intended there, kind of cool, like that. But there's two sides to it. There's water that's always circulating no matter what, thermostats are shut, water's still moving, but then once the thermostat opens, then hot coolant gets cooled and put back into the engine. So I will say it's a well thought out system, kind of a pain when it breaks though. There's one thing about this engine, it's never overheated. Yeah, and the temperature gauge has always been consistent in this. I will say it's one of the few cars that don't have the up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Yeah, this one's a crusty one, Mr. Grinch. You know, chances of it getting factory clean, unless you install a new part, pretty much slim nil, next to none. But you can get.
That's how you get it to stop kinking then.
Well, it's not that. You can't stop this from happening as far as the corrosion goes. All you can do is clean it up and get it down as far as you can go, and you can come back on the clamp with a little bit, like we're going to have to do in this case. Okay, I'm happy with that. It's about as best I can do. Alright, come up here at top hose, clean its nipple up, check for scales. We do have a little bit of scale. Not too bad on that, because that's hotter coolant up there. Can't really see it, but I can feel it. It's just right here on the edge. Not too bad. Okay, now we can just clean that up. Okay, it's right on the nipple, right behind it. So the seal's made actually right here, and back here is like your secondary stop in case this fails, but this feels pretty good, so we're good there. All right, back in with the new hose. Now these are bolted hoses. And there's a long section, short section.
Which way do you want me pointing down?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just pointing down.
Alright, so this hose is a little bit longer than the factory, which is fine. You can put a little bit of a kink in it, it won't hurt anything. So we'll put the bottom one in first. Okay, we'll get the top one in. Make sure it goes all the way back. Fingernails lengths are okay. Alright, this one we're going to go a little bit farther back with. Alright, we're good there. Now, put our clamps back on. This is a trick that took me a long time to learn. Instead of fighting it this way, it'll go on a lot quicker if you go to the back side like I'm about to do. Alright, fill for the nipple edge. Alright, that hose is sat. Alright, top one in, same thing. Alright, fill for your nipple edge. There we go.
And bada boom.
And one hose of 15.
Oh boy.
Alright, while we're over here thinking about it,
Alright.
we're going to get the preheater hose for the throttle body sat. Yeah, as much as I thought I was going to slide this hose clamp over, I'm going to actually have to do that trick I just told you guys. So, clamp down first, don't lose it. And put this back up. I have to play with this one just a little bit. Alright, throttle body there. Return, good to go. Alright, the next hose we're going to deal with is the thermostat. Now on this one, this is the lower thermostat. We call it the suction side. This is a complete housing. There's nothing serviceable in this, so don't try it. So if you pull yours off like I just did and it's all rusty, corroded, and nasty, don't worry about it, it gets replaced. Now, the problem we're going to find though is there's this hose here. This is the bypass for coolant flow back into the engine when the thermostat's shut. That hose we could not find at our dealerships. We're going to have to go to O'Reilly's and see if we can match something on their wall that will work. Unfortunately, it's crispy crusty like everything else. So if you're having a hard time getting this clamp out, like I'm probably going to have a hard time, I'm actually going to take the thermostat housing off, then take the hose off. There's 3 bolts you got to get out to take the thermostat housing off. There is a gasket there.
Right there.
Yep. 3 bolts comes off. I'll show you this one when I get it off, but there's just no way to record it. This is where it gets real tight real quick. So we'll be back with you once I got this thing off.
I want to see if I can get this bolt. I think 1, 2 right there.
Yep, there's 3 total.
And then the 3 is on the bottom right here.
Yep.
Yep. Alright. Well, we're going to get that.
Yep. Alright, seeing I got it loose. This last bolt's kind of a bugger. Yep. Okay, now, don't lose this bolt.
Right there.
Take that out of our way.
Oh, this thing.
Yep, and then our bypass. See if I can slide this clamp back. If this was easy, everybody would be doing it. That's what I tell myself every morning I wake up.
Yikes.
Alright, we're off to O'Reilly's, see if we can figure out some type of bypass hose. We got the new thermostat in. I couldn't record putting it in. It's a really tight fit, but just final torque is 99 inch-pounds. Doesn't Doesn't sound like a lot, but this is the suction side, this isn't the pressure side. So start on the bottom and torque it all the way around. Okay, there's 99. Yep, 99 inch-pounds comes up pretty quick. I'll tell you what, this sucker's a bugger to do. Wrong bolt. Alright, 99 inch-pounds, and then the next solution is the bypass hose. I'm working that out right now. As soon as I figure it out, I'll let you know what part number we use. So I went down to AutoZone and I found this Daco hose that'll work, 87310. I mean, obviously, you're not going to find this hose. And the guy laughed at me. He's like, "You're not going to find that hose." I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm going to do something custom." If you got to use a bended hose, at least if it's bended this way, it's not going to kink when you go that way with it. So we're going to make this a little long. It don't matter if it's a little bit longer, it just can't be shorter. So I'm going to cut it right here at the bend to give me a little extra.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Start out the cameraman, why don't you?
Alright, we're going to test fit this real quick.
I'm gonna go out to get a flashlight.
Alright, that'll work. And I got clearance around the fan. And I should be able to put the lower hose like that. So that will work. Kind of a retarded way to do it, but I really don't have a choice. Can't get the parts, so.
Stupid way of doing it. Not retarded. Can't use that word.
It is an interesting way to do it
Uh-huh.
when you have to custom fit this stuff, but what else can you do? You can't get the parts, so this is what we're going to do. It'll work. Coolant doesn't care what hose it goes in, as long as it goes where it needs to go. Alright, when I get this all fitted back, then I'll show you the final.
Okay.
Alright, I had to use traditional hose clamps here. The original are just not going to do it. So I did these in a way, if I ever have to tighten them, I can get to them. So this one, I can come down this way. I can come down this way and get at it. And the one on top, if you weasel in this way, weasel in this way, then you can get to that one. So always be thinking ahead, placement, in case you ever have to tighten it. I prefer the spring clamp, but I don't have one that size. The Gates hose is a little bigger, but it will work. Probably won't have any problems with it, but it's one of those things where sometimes you got to get outside the box to make stuff work. There's terms in the industry for this. We'll call it jury rigged, but it'll work. But other than that, that's the best I can do with it. Alright, next hose going to is the lower radiator hose. An actual normal hose I didn't have a problem getting. I can get that at my local O'Reilly's. So we'll do that one next.
I almost had it. Dang. That thing's tighter.
Because you're trying to get past that. That's an aftermarket thermostat. So
Horrible.
horrible.
That was horrible. Ow.
Yep.
Alright, now what?
Well, being I've already disconnected it from the bottom, you should be able just to pull it out.
Yeah, it should be.
Alright, you want to know the trick?
Huh.
Get underneath and do it.
Oh! Sick!
Let me grab a flashlight. Okay, now, yeah, you can do that. Go ahead and do that. That's fine. I would move it out of your way though, because you're going to have the same problem with this hose. Yeah, just move it far up the hose.
Okay, hold on.
Perfect.
There. Alright.
Now I'm hoping we don't have to cut this.
Oh, dude. How much is it going to leak?
Well, shouldn't leak that much because I've had it open for a week. There you go.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Oh, that's how you get the lower hose out.
Oh boy.
Now, the reason why people don't like these clamps, they're kind of a pain in the rear to use. And what a lot of people try to do, they'll try to put the clamp, the original OEM clamp, on the new hose. And the problem is the new hose is thicker and you'll never get it past the barb. So what I do is I put the clamp on this side, push the hose in, slide the clamp over, and it'll save you a lot of heartache. So I'm going to show you that now. First we'll get the old one off. If you don't have a clamp tool, get one. This is only 36 bucks at O'Reilly's. Although I will say this tool works, but it can be a handful at times. Okay, that one goes on the radiator side. Alright, come over here so I can show you something. Clamp on first, push it back, slide the hose, then put the clamp in place. You're never going to get the hose and the clamp over that lip right there. Okay, now we got to open that clamp up, shove the hose back, clamp back this way. I'm probably going to do that off camera because I'm going to need the room. Now the trick with the QX4 is come in behind here where my hand is. Come over here. Come behind here to get the clamp in place.